hi, and welcome to another Global XR Talks. My name is Sjoukje
Hello.
Zaal, and together with Saskia Groenewegen, I will be your host for this evening. So we have two amazing sessions tonight. And first we have Marina and Linda, and they will talk about VR and AR for rehabilitation goals. And after that, we have Rome Ibrahim, and he is going to talk about immersive technologies in tourism. But first, Marina and Linda. Hello,
Welcome.
Hi. Hi, good
welcome.
evening.
How are
Thank
you?
you for having us.
Thanks for
We're,
being
we're
here.
waiting for the summer. It's not coming.
So,
Yeah,
can you
totally.
tell us
Thank you so much for the intro. I'm sorry for interrupting you. Just wanted to say that we are very excited to present.
Great. And we are very excited to what you are actually presenting. A very interesting topic for rehabilitation goals. That's something that you both work on in your day-to-day working life. Yeah?
Yeah, this is totally true. I hope that everyone listens me and hears me well. Yeah, all right.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, we are both working in the field of rehabilitation, which is a kind of not typical rehabilitation, and I would be super happy to talk about what we do. So, yeah.
Yeah, for
Okay.
us, it's full time. I would say not only full time, but probably two full-time jobs. So that's our quite passion for both of us. So we're happy to give the message to others.
Okay. So we're very curious. So the floor is yours. Good luck with your session.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hope that my presentation appeared. Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to say that you're very welcome, not only into virtual reality and augmented reality rehabilitation world, but also into clinical rehabilitation world, which is extremely close to the things which we do with Linda. And maybe I will start the presentation and then Linda will hold up. So basically, we will talk about a little bit what I do in my daily life connected to virtual reality. Linda will share her also opinion and interesting stuff that she does. And then we will talk about why all of you should know important things about not only typical medtech, healthcare, and edtech, but also the field of rehabilitation. And maybe some one of you will be the next generation creators of technology in the field of rehabilitation VR. So a little bit about us. I believe that Linda will proceed afterwards about her background, but what is connected to me? I'm a Latvian startup-based CEO and co-founder, also product owner connected to virtual reality, and it is called VREACH. Also, I do have clinical background. It does mean that I have medical degree and education in the field of rehabilitation. And also, I co-founded an organization which is a nonprofit, XR Latvia, where we also try to share our thoughts and specialties in terms of XR experts. And also, I'm Riga Tech Girls co-creator and a team mentor. And the context why we talk actually about VR and how we talk if we work with VR or either we are enthusiasts of virtual reality, we have to understand what is the context, why we actually highlight that VR and AR are growing. So what is actually VR, what is AR, and what do we actually know about virtual reality and augmented reality? So the term which comes up is a product mindset and actually the topic of product. So let me explain about what I actually talk. When we talk about virtual reality, we all know that it can be characterized with terms of immersivity, immersion, and different levels of immersion, and also experience, simulations, trainings, and all different fields where we actually can see virtual reality. And actually the market still is growing, and it's growing a lot, but never mind. It's not so important for us, because we, as experts, as users, as specialists, we know that virtual reality, first of all, is technology. This is a tool to actually have some aims achieved, and also this is a framework how to deliver different experiences to different people, diverse people, and also this is kind of philosophy. So virtual reality have some different levels of immersion. We all know this, that we can some kind of measure sometimes if the experience really works. Either this experience should be changed in terms of graphic design, user experience, user interface, and another things. So we know that mainly when we talk about virtual reality, we talk about experience. And experience is the philosophy. How do we use the technology? Everything is very connected. So basically, when we talk about virtual reality, augmented reality, and experiences, we also have to understand that perception of every person is individual. So this is based on subjective perception. We all perceive virtual reality somehow differently, but in every case and every time, we actually can measure this. So we a little bit will switching to field of clinical stuff and medtech stuff, which is called rehabilitation, and why we really need this. Just because to understand that rehabilitation is not always connected to physical rehabilitation or motor exercises or maybe some veteran rehabilitation. Actual rehabilitation is a very wide term. And this is actually based on the topic that specialists who work in the clinical field help to work the whole person body, whole patient body in a functional way. So actually, we don't really work, me as a functional specialist, we don't work with biology. We mostly work with the functions of speech, functions of language, function of perception, and other different functions which we rehabilitate. And yes, it could be very different: cognitive, physical, speech, motor. For example, after stroke, either it can be connected to children rehabilitation of autism or another disorders, and some other spectrums which should be actually assessed and delivered help. So we can talk about rehabilitation sessions, trainings, in the clinical obstacles. So when we talk about virtual reality in medtech, in health tech, and in rehabilitation, which is actually part of medtech, we have to understand where rehabilitation is located in this maybe triangle. So virtual reality and technology is very near to rehabilitation. Rehabilitation is very near to social issues when we try to solve some problems in the field of medtech, edtech, or tourism tech, for example, also. So in our case, in my case particularly also, we talk about virtual reality experiences in terms of patient experience. And this is what I do via VREACH. We trying to help the mind with the power of virtual reality. What does it really mean? It means that we provide virtual reality environment and very specific design, very specific experiences for children who need to receive help and train in clinical obstacles, speech, language, cognitive skills, and perceptual skills. And this is really a very great opportunity to make it with virtual reality. So how does it look like? It does look like that specialist. Let me show you a little video. How does so specialist who normally works with the children to develop speech, language, communication, just brings virtual reality headset and yeah, a little bit of connection, but this is still okay. So I can tell you a little bit more that it looks like virtual reality is used by child, and a specialist is virtual reality of clinical experience to end user, which is child. And also, this is fully controlled environment provided by specialist and guided with a laptop app. So now you can see a little bit from the app, which we actually can call the experience. So when we train different skills in the children, especially with children with different disorders such autism or speech disorders, we have to think as virtual reality product creators about very specific UI in terms user interface, in terms of design, in terms of mechanics, in terms of gamification. So specific user experience got during the orientation in obstacles. This is our aim. And also we receive different feedback. We can measure this. And this is a very unique health data and observations possible way to get this data from virtual reality. And that's why this is in our case, this is straight connection from virtual reality sensors and obtained data to health of children. So also we work on and deliver therapy, which is totally possible remotely. So basically, specialist is located in any part of the world, and therapy, cognitive therapy, either other therapy is delivered online with virtual reality headset. And actually, this is the key, that you can't really manage what you can measure. And that's why we highlight the obstacle that virtual reality gives very amazing and great data about health condition of child. So we can obtain data, we can measure this, and we can manage this. So that's why virtual reality is a must. And now I would like to give a word to my beautiful and wise colleague, Linda. Can you please start?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Thank you. The work Marina does with kids, it's just amazing. And I think the only actually people who can judge about it are the parents of the kids, but still amazing. And what I do, so just in few sentences about my background, you saw I have medical engineering background, but then I realized that science, like material science and engineering, is too slow for me because I need to see the purpose and the result. So then I switched to physical therapy, and then I decided to go to a field that I know nothing about, augmented reality. And so at this moment, it's postdoctoral project, and so it's a scientific project with ambition to be commercialized as soon as possible. And I really see that happening in a close future. And in this case, can you switch? Okay, so in this case, we're talking about more physical therapy, physical rehabilitation, and so you see this concept, what you see here, this is how in general human body works. You need to, when you make the movement, your brain gets some information and gives the feedback back to your arms and feet and the other parts. But so what I'm doing, I'm applying the same principle using technologies, because for some reason, somewhere along the way, we have forgotten how to optimize all of those systems that we have. And everywhere where we look around, either it's brain or either it's I don't know, your car or whatever. The aim is to optimize the performance, and yeah, we have forgotten how to do that on our everyday life and our basic movements. For, in a way, thank you, COVID, people have started to remember how complex and how sensitive are our systems. Because, you know, I don't remember the author of the quote, but it was said that we are discovering Moon and exploring Mars, about to settle on Mars, but we have no idea actually 100% how our body works and why some things happen in our own bodies. So in terms of technologies, for feedback, I use augmented reality, and to gather this objective information during movements, I use different kind of sensors and wearables, which I will show you a bit further. So can you switch? So the target audience for target population is, in terms of patients, it's basically every one of us, especially nowadays when those are there are a lot of people having chronic low back pain or altered gait pattern or posture disalignments, and of course for more severe conditions it's even more important, like having neurological conditions and amputations and others. So but this at least at this stage this application could be used by physical therapists. Next one. And when I'm talking about optimization, when we move, actually, the most important is our core muscles. And just to give you insight, we have 3 layers of muscles, and the core muscles are the deepest ones. And if they are weak or just disbalanced, then we have this lower quality of movement, or we get tired very fast. And then we think, oh, maybe I didn't sleep too well, or maybe I didn't eat too well. But of course, that could be the case. But there's a lot of science proof and evidence that if the core muscles are weak, then our endurance level is lower. And for those people I mentioned before, like amputees and neurological conditions and also others, they have really quite a few secondary conditions like heart and respiratory complications, and for example diabetes patients, millions and millions of people, and also low back pain patients bring huge losses to economy, and also the quality of their life is really getting worse because of the pain. And so what you see, sorry, is this is the setup, and this is the initial, I would say initial setup. Here you can see HoloLens, where the person sees the feedback from the sensors applied onto him. And these sensors are for breathing and for deep muscle electric activity. So basically when he moves, can you switch to the next one? So the exercise program is targeted to deep muscle activation and strengthening. And during the movement, the signal which comes from the sensors applied on the person on specific spots, this feedback goes to the program and then further to the headset, and you see these animations. So basically, if the software understands that you do not activate your target muscles, then this animation or this action in the game is not going further. And it's also built in a way that you preferably you would like to make the movements by yourself and would not be forced to do that with any instructions or other means. Okay, so probably the next one. That's okay. You can watch the cartoon. Okay, so to sum this up, for the physical therapists, it means more motivated people, more motivated patients, but also increased capacity, because we're building this setup with my team of developers and soft, sensor testers. We're trying to build this software with this look in the future, where we understand that it's not like you will need only one sensor. You will need to monitor vital signs of the patient, like if he has diabetes, you will need to monitor his like sugar levels, or for elderly people you would need to monitor blood pressure and heart rate, of course. So it's being built in a way that you can add as many sensors as you need to the system, and then there is this medical know-how how to provide the correct feedback to the patient. And also you can add several headsets to the system, so increase the capacity and provide a really individual rehabilitation plan for the patient, because it's based on this his own individual metrics. Yeah, and I mean, this kind of setup can be used for really, really various applications. And this initial idea is for deep core muscles, but it can be adapted to a really number of applications. So yeah, that's about the project I'm doing.
So actually, why we talk about XR in terms of rehabilitation? Fear of technology. Linda, do you have some ideas to comment on fear of technology?
Well, I think I have seen so various forms of fear of technology. It's one of those is being skeptic, and one of those is being concerned that it will hurt somebody, and but eventually it goes out. It goes down to the fear because of not knowing what it is and how it works and what it gives. So yeah, that would be my comment.
Actually, we also working with clinical specialists. We see that lack of knowledge and awareness about tech and physiology, psychology, and self-awareness are presented, right?
Exactly. And I mean, it's from both sides. It's from patient's side and from the doctor's side as well. And I think, at least as far as I have met, I would dare to say that medical professionals are a little bit more, okay, I'll put it skeptic.
All right. So basically, we have to say that audience is very diverse, and unfortunately, for now, a lack of knowledge is presented, and also not for all of the times and all of the institutions accessible hardware in terms of mixed reality, augmented reality, virtual reality. Let's be honest, not in every hospital into your town, for example, in Riga or somewhere in Brussels, in every hospital are presented mixed reality glasses, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
So also a lack of communication in terms of the way how we use technology. Of course, we for now live in a time of great digital transformation, and digital skills are also increasing, but still a lack of communication. Do you have something to add to for the lack of communication?
I mean, it's educating and educating and educating, and it's about finding the most appropriate language that the person would understand. I think that that's critical because, I mean, also for clinical specialists or rehab specialists, we learn all that stuff for 4, 5, 6 years and even more. But we are super motivated, and when you are not so motivated, it really matters how you give the message. Do you use the words that they understand?
I totally agree. And actually, the next point of virtual reality, augmented reality into rehabilitation, and why not everyone knows about the values of technologies is that tech is not always user friendly in terms of not so many cases of successful and sustainable use of technology into very specific, very new and innovative fields. For example, I believe that everyone knows that technology is used, virtual reality is used in surgery, also in different simulations, trainings for ophthalmology also. But about rehabilitation, unfortunately, people don't know just because the cases are very, very not too much, right?
Yeah, totally agree.
Next point is about value proposition. So actually, all right, we do have hardware in every hospital. We do have developers. We do have enthusiasts and visionaries. But we have to understand what is the value for patients, value for specialists. And this is the question towards actually product mindset, what kind of product we deliver and how we change experience of targeted audience in terms using the technology. The system is too slow, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me, it's sometimes really soul breaking when bureaucracy or some kind of these kind of things in the order how everybody is used to work and in the hospital or clinic or whatever, and people saying that they want change, but when it starts to happen, it's fear, and it's also those huge systems are not able to adapt to any kind of changes.
Yeah, I totally agree. And actually, the next one point, which is the science is too slow. I believe that everyone who's connected to scientific approval uh, of experiences in terms of medtech, health tech know that science is amazing, but running not so fast as technology is developing. For example, very simple example from my life that we started to develop the virtual reality experience for children with autism like 3 years ago, when in scientific way there was not any kind of scientific approvals, either papers, and we couldn't really understand what science says about this except theory. And for now, in 2021, there are plenty of different designed papers, searchers, and this is really great. Science is developing, and we actually are very close collaborating with different scientific institutions, which are actually interested in to make research and see what is inside virtual reality and how they can use or what they can actually measure else, maybe something different. Actually, the medical data interpretation and inclusion in the whole medical patient scene is a question, right?
Yeah, it's also, I think, in some way related to the systematic problems. But I just wanted to add to the science part. I mean, I've been working in science for some time, and and now trying to like find the compromise between the product and the science, it's really challenging. And don't misunderstand me. The science is really necessary, and the evidence is absolutely necessary. It's just that the metrics used in science and especially in human studies, usually, I mean, not usually, for some times and many times, it's not necessary for the product development, but it's necessary to prove the validity of the concept or the hardware or the UX, and so many components to that.
Right. And actually, it's also a question about insurance and certification, right? Because it's always a question how we can, what we can say and how we can certificate the new applications and the new experiences of virtual reality, augmented reality in a very new and specific fields. For example, physiotherapy and muscle trainings, for example, use of rehabilitation of speech for children, right? So insurance and certification in most of the countries are still pending questions and kind of a challenge.
There are a few examples where there is really nice situation when, for example, insurance company realizes that it's in their interests to see the progress of the patient, not to keep the patient as long as he can, as long as they can to get the profit, but actually to see the progress. And I hope these kind of companies become more and more, where they actually can use innovations and technologies, so they can objectively monitor the patients and so on. And yeah, and concerning certification, especially what I can say about physical therapy is that these metrics and evaluation, they are also not able to keep up with the pace. For example, in different devices in physiology evaluation, with like using devices, because everybody is used to do that manually. So that's a big job to do in the physical therapy field.
So digital health, as we mentioned, is straightly connected to user experience, customer journey, product values, and immersive tech. And virtual reality itself is not a product, and the same that we can say about augmented reality and mixed reality. People do not really need virtual reality if the product is absent, because if, for example, the product is just a game, all right, this is a niche, this is a game. So what we talk about, we talk that virtual reality is the way more applications have that just gaming, just some specific industries. Virtual reality has the great potential. And the more we talk about this, the more we make a connection and dialogue, the way we can develop it together, scientists, product owners, technology enthusiasts, and developers. And actually, virtual reality and augmented reality is about to grow, especially in the health tech, and med tech. And people, all of kind of people, people who are patients, who are users, who are end users, customers, are about perception. So this is a very important if we work with the immersive tech, that we have to measure perception. We have to understand where within subjective perception can be measured and improved in terms of user interface, experience, mechanics, and some other things. Perfect timing for now is to grow in medtech. So anyone who has ideas in terms of health tech, medtech, please, you have to investigate into this field. So this is very great, because for now technology allows us to do this. despite of not full, let's say, full coverage of headsets, but still, this is the perfect timing. So VR, AR, digital health, data, UX are about people, experience, and something. So let's make the experience of people greatest with virtual reality and augmented reality. Do you agree?
I totally agree, and I really hope that others, enthusiasts, anyone who is willing to try and create content, which we are missing the content in rehab, appropriate content. I hope that they will do better job than I did to learn how important is UI and UX for the users. And also, I would really hope that I mean, not to discourage, just to like those like going in the field, just to be prepared that well, technology is cool and nice, but since it initially has been created most of the time for a general purpose, oftentimes it's not there yet for specific purposes. So but it's a great adventure, and it's super fun to be in the field if you're ready to explore and experience adventure.
Yeah, so actually, we have to think about not only some virtual reality use in different industries, but also about the value which is sustainable. And in this case, when you are having some kind of ideas that, for example, I can develop the experience to help people, I don't know, women who are pregnant to simulate some kind of experiences, or to children, or some kind of gamification, or also virtual reality experiences for seniors, which is also very growing industry in terms of health tech and medtech. So this is a great time to take a sit, take notes, and write down all of the ideas and try to make the very new point of view and experience for people. And they definitely will be telling you their emotions, their perception, their thoughts, and you will be maybe the next creator of VR, AR, and MR.
Yeah, in this kind of discussion, I'm really missing other participants that would like come to in the discussion with their opinions, because everybody has different experiences.
Yeah, sure. So a lot of topics we didn't cover today, but I believe that we will be having the opportunity. So basically, we would love to answer all of your questions. And here are our contacts, and we would be super happy to connect and to talk more about VR, AR, MR in digital health, in health tech, in med tech.
200% agree.
So do we have comments or questions? For now, seems like not really.
Well, then let me say thank you so much for this talk. I think it's so cool that you work in this field of healthcare, in VR, AR, despite all the challenges that you still face. And it's really cool that you do research in that field. And I hope very much that other people working in this area see this talk and reach out to you. But before, maybe I hope there will be some audience questions. But before we get them, I also have some questions. So. Marina, you talked about that you work with kids with autism, and you give them this VR headset to help in their rehabilitation. And I wonder, how do those kids react? Like, are they super enthusiastic, or is it scary, or what's your experience there?
Thank you for this very interesting question. Basically, I work with a very different kids. I mean, I work with the kids with neurotypical development paths and with functional disorders, such different perception disorders. For example, when a child sees the light and light makes the stressor for him, so he can't really learn and study just because of the stressors. So the reactions in 98%, I must say, of all my patients and the patients who are actually for now receiving the therapy is a huge and natural interest, just because it's very natural for all kind of children to orientate in the world where they are. And actually, it's not a secret that we work in a world of gadgets, of different phones and games. So this is the very straight connection to the way how I, as a specialist, as a maybe mom, as a person who is interested into harmonical development of child, can manipulate with the technology to receive my to get my goals. So I never have met reactions such kind of being scary. Most of the reactions are like, wow, where am I? What kind of room? Can I grab this ball? Can I grab virtual reality headset in virtual reality headset? And then the journey starts. And what is actually shocking for me that children aged from 3 to 4, from 4, I must say, they use controllers the way more better than most of adults. So this is a really great metric, which we actually can show that digital skills are presented and are developed very spontaneously from the birth.
That's really cool. And if you do this process with the kids in virtual reality, do you see a difference to doing something similar without VR? Does VR have like large benefits? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, actually, typical therapy and diagnostics in a field of rehabilitation is based with no technology at all most of the time. The same situation in Latvia, where I'm located, as well as in US and Europe. So basically, the problem is that the technology itself is not accessible in terms of hardware. So that's why I very suddenly opened for myself the fact that technology can solve some kind of problems for me as a specialist. So the first one advantage was discovered that children cannot see the stressors, and actually virtual reality removes all of the obstacles which bothers to concentrate. So I can say that it stimulates concentration, but definitely it proves that this isolation stimulates the progress, which I need as a person who would like to aim to have some aim achieved. And in terms of specialists, actually, virtual reality helps to control the environment, because normally when we deal with the children, they can behave any kind of, they can demonstrate any kind of behavior. And sometimes it's a great challenge and deal to deal with them, with their behavior. So virtual reality is extremely controlled environment, which is not only controlled, but also we can obtain data what actually could be better. So in my opinion, virtual reality, not only in my opinion, but in opinion also of mine, this is a great advantage in terms of analog methods and approaches.
Right. Interesting. Thank you.
Thank you for the question.
I also have a question for Linda. I really loved your example, which is basically a gamification of exercise. That's like, if I understood it correctly, with a little dragon that you have to reach for. And
I'm glad you liked it.
so at the moment you're using, you're building for the HoloLens, and you already talked about that comes with some issues, right? Availability, price. Have you looked into like maybe using other AR devices like a phone for something similar? Are you working on that? Or is it all like kind of future, looking into the future, like what can we do with
Thanks for the question. I mean, it's totally understandable question, and I think at least this is kind of thing which I dared to take from myself, is that when I do exercises, I don't want to really have anything in my hands. Like if we talk about virtual reality and those kind of things. So that was the reason why I stayed with HoloLens. And yeah, of course, the price is not very pleasant, but there are also other considerations for the choice, because, for example, people like elderly or people with severe diabetes and other conditions, they have also cognitive changes. And so being immersed, for example, totally in VR could be disturbing and increase the risk of oh my god, I forgot the name, motion sickness. Yeah, so that's kind of increased risk for that. And but it depends on the exercises. So since I'm focusing on these deep muscle activation exercises where you really do have to think about your position and everything, and be on your back, on your side, then controllers is not a good option. But in this kind of system, you can add any kind of exercises, and then VR could be an option for sure for different populations. And concerning the phone, probably that could be possible. I'm not considering this at the moment, because you have to like put it somewhere and check it all the time, what is happening, are you doing things correctly, what is the actual feedback from the sensor, and then to check that feedback again, you go out of this physical therapy correct position. And that is the freedom which augmented reality gives. It's not like I would advertise HoloLens. It's just purely from physical therapy point of view, and maybe other applications like Magic Leap could be used at some point. And it really depends from the content. The PC could be used probably. For we did use computer for user tests, and actually, well, one of the conclusions in the process was that there are times when the gamification is super cool, but sometimes the first moment when they see this feedback from the sensor, like these first user trials in a really simple mode where they just saw this line going up and down, and the reaction was like, "Wow, is that me?" It's like, what? So sometimes that is also enough. And of course, for long term, the gamification is, I think, necessary and fun.
Yeah, and of course we all hope that headsets will become cheaper and more available and all of those things. So I think it's great that you're already now doing the research for the future, basically. And of course it's nicer to not have controllers in your hands. And yeah.
Well, it has a lot of technical challenges too. I don't know how much have you played around with that from developer point of view. I'm not a programmer. I'm not a developer. But what I hear from them is like, okay.
It's getting better, I have to say. It's getting easier, and yeah. So my last question would be, you talked about there are so many challenges with this. For example, also the adaptation and the acceptance among medical professionals. What do you think would be like the one biggest thing that has to change so that your solutions become really viable options in the future?
Marina, do you have like first thought in your head?
First idea is that, first of all, professional associations have to promote autonomous and successful lifestyle of specialists and of doctors. Because if you would like to be successful in the profession, you have to have some digital skills and some other skills. I don't talk about some leadership, but some skills which helps you automate your work and be modern and deliver a great experience to your patients. So basically, I believe that should be support from government and support from professional organizations, just in terms of immersive tech, that, hey, you can try it and then understand if you like it, either no. So positive PR would be really great.
Yeah, I've heard also that there is a bonus system for people who use digital solutions for their patients. And what we tried actually is, as it works for every kid, you set the good example. It's like we have this group of physical therapists, and we just came together and made some videos of how one of the wearables, for example, could be used into practice, and published this video, and the resonance was really huge, because nobody has thought of doing this educational and informative work. So I think if you manage to pull a few of those people and of medical people, and get them enthusiastic, and they start using it, and they also show it to others, that's a big deal for the community.
Yeah, and actually understand that like value of technology, that technology itself doesn't bring anything, but technology in specific use can solve a lot of problems, and just have to try. And don't be scary from virtual reality or augmented reality. Make virtual reality be scared of you. As ambitious and enthusiastic are you to conquer the world for the greatest achievements of yourself?
I also think, I don't know how about for you guys. We have these situations where patients come to the doctor and they say, I use this application, I have this data, and then it goes back to the data. There is no general solution how to pull all the data together and to do the interpretation and to implement it in medical history of the patient. So if that would be made easier, that would be a huge step.
Yeah, I can imagine it also depends a lot on the laws of the country, what is possible and what is not. Well,
do you guys have some kind of medical electronic data, huge systems which you use as patients, and you, for example, upload data from your smartwatch or something, and the doctor actually uses the data?
Sjoukje?
No, I don't think it goes that far. No, we have a digital, how do you call that? A digital identity for medical reasons, but we cannot upload data, as far as I know. Would be great. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's always a lot of discussion around the privacy laws and what is allowed and what even doctors can share with other institutes. And
yeah, totally the same thing are happening to us. So let's hope that virtual reality will make this more visual and more transparent, the problem, so we can try to solve this.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, both of you, for joining us, for talking about your work and your research. It was really interesting. I think there are no more questions. So
Well,
Yeah.
thank you very
thank
much.
you.
Thank you for
so
having
much.
us. It was really fun.
And all the best for your future ventures in this area.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Pleasant evening.
Thank you. You too.
Have a great evening. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So, Sjoukje, we still have a bit of time.
Well, yeah, we have a bit of time. A couple of minutes. Yeah, that was a very interesting session. Yeah.
Yeah, it's also like an area I personally haven't heard that much about yet, like healthcare and all the ways. I would never have thought about, like, kids and giving them a VR headset. It's fascinating what you can do with like 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and just what she said, what Marina said, that they are so open and adapt that technology. Really great. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we have a Rome already
Yeah.
in the stream, so maybe we can
Welcome
add into
our
it.
second speaker.
Yeah. Hi, Rome.
Hey, Arom.
Hi, how are you?
So nice to have you back with us. It's not your
Thank you
first
so
time.
much.
Thank you
you
so
doing?
much for joining us from Nigeria.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Great.
Yeah, we're good. How are you?
Doing fine. Quite a busy day for me. Just trying to get everything together and make a very good presentation for everyone.
Okay.
Oh, we have no doubt.
Mhm.
Well, shall we just get started? You are going to talk to us about tourism, right? And how to use XR for tourism. I'm really excited to hear your talk. Why don't you share your screen?
Okay, great. Give me a second.
There it is.
Great. I hope you can see my screen.
Yeah.
We can see
You
everything.
can see it. Yeah.
Okay, great. Let me know when it's time to start.
Well, let's get started. Thank you.
Awesome. So hello everyone. Thank you all so much for joining me on this session, right? I want to appreciate the entire Global XR team for giving me this opportunity to talk about my passion and also my interest in using XR for tourism, education, and also growing the XR community in Africa. I'll start off with a little bit of like a small story on how I got started with XR. It all began 4 years ago when I went to a Facebook sponsored event in the capital city of Nigeria, which is Abuja. And when I wore the Oculus Go headset, it was phenomenal. Like being able to travel to places you had never been before, right? Irrespective of your location, was simply amazing. And since then, I've been able to build together a team, and we have so far built a startup which is helping businesses in Nigeria and also across Africa adopt XR solutions. So you're looking at virtual tours, VR content, and also augmented reality content. And also, I've been able to build a community across Africa called Immersive Tech Africa. So the goal of the community is to build a platform whereby we can support, mentor the next generation of XR content developers on the continent. And I'm super glad to be on this journey because I believe XR is another medium for us to show what we can do, especially here in Africa. And I'm here to share with you guys how we can reimagine tourism through extended reality. I will be showing some demos, some examples, and also some content that have already been implemented all across the world, and also sharing insights on how tourist organizations and also businesses can recover, especially post COVID-19. And I believe will all come out stronger, right, after the pandemic, and it will be great for businesses to adopt extended reality solutions for their clients. So let's get right into it. So first off, I will be breaking down the session into 6 parts. So we'll be talking about an overview into extended reality, also sharing insights on extended reality in travel and tourism. Afterwards, I'll be talking about XR in tourism markets. So I'll be sharing some insights and some statistics on how XR is impacting the tourism market. And also I'll be talking about XR application in the tourism industry, right? Also sharing a project we did for a museum here in Nigeria. And lastly, we're talking about the key benefits of XR in tourism. So first off, my name is Arun Ibrahim. I am an immersive 3D 360 VR developer. I'm a geographer and an applied metrologist. I'm passionate about building a community across Africa that is focused on technology and also emerging tech. And I'm the co-founder of Express Immersive. It's a virtual tour content development company based in Abuja, Nigeria. I'm super excited. I'm passionate about volunteering and also supporting any initiative or programs within the XR space in Africa. So, according to Ralph, Ralph said XR offers the potential to create substitute experiences that may be extremely useful for heritage and natural preservation, right? An example I would say is in Africa, we have thousands of heritage sites and also tourist locations that are undocumented, unaccessible by users, right? And the goal of using XR is to create a substitute experience that whereby people can view these locations without leaving their spaces, right? For example, in the COVID-19 pandemic, a lot of us were restricted into our various homes, and I believe a lot of people would love to travel, right? Immediately the lockdowns are being taken off. So Ralph said XR offers the potential to create amazing experiences and is very useful in heritage and also natural preservation. Great. So Tim Cook is somebody I really look up to, right? And he also is passionate about XR, just like how Apple is doing great stuff with AR. And he said AR will happen. It will happen in a big way, which is already happening, right? And we wonder when it does, right? How we ever live without it. Like we ever wonder how we live without our phones today, right? So basically, Tim Cook is talking about how AR will make a great impact all across the world. And he also believes that companies need to adopt AR, right? So from large scale to small scale, right? Need to adopt extended reality solutions. And I'll be basically sharing key insights on how AR is doing great stuff in tourism and also how VR is also making an impact within that space. So I hope you're able to wrap your head around those short quotes, and let's just dive right into it. So basically, I'll be sharing an overview of virtual reality technology, also talking about how VR is also involved in digital experiences. I remember earlier this year, my brother wore a VR headset and he was like, Arome, this is amazing. I was like, yeah, it is. And I was like, what is VR? I was like, okay. So VR is basically an experience that takes you from your physical environment into a virtual environment, right? Either computer generated or a realistic space, which is captured with a 360 camera, right? So virtual reality typically involves the use of a VR headset, right? One over your face that immerse you in virtual spaces you have never been before, right? And I'm super glad that this technology is here. I'm super glad this technology is making an impact, especially in education, which I'm also passionate about. So going deep into it, VR has also a great impact in the travel industry because tourist destinations, right, that have unique experiences can capture it in 360 or in VR and create a virtual engaging experience that people could use or engage with via PC or via mobile, right? For me, I believe VR needs to be accessible, right, to users irrespective of their location, both in the developed or in the developing nations, right? So for VR to have a major impact, we need to have cheaper headsets that have amazing content, and also be able to power experiences using our mobile device, which AR is particular about. So I believe for the tourism industry, being able to capture those locations in 360 or in VR will be a great driving force to market those locations for those businesses. So this is like an overview of how VR have come so far, from our first headsets to various headsets, from the HTC Vive to Microsoft to the basic VR cardboards, right? For me personally, I believe the Google VR cardboard is like the basic entry level for VR for anyone that doesn't have the resources to get a VR headset, right? Especially in developing nations, to get a VR headset is quite expensive, right? So what we do is we create groups, right, that put together resources to acquire these headsets, and we together as a group can create content, create gaming experiences, and also host interactive watch parties, which usually occurs monthly, right? So with this, VR will be more accessible to users irrespective of their location, right? If you are developed or in a developing nation, having access to VR is very important. Okay, now for some stats, right? According to VR users across different sectors, these are the sectors that have that are experiencing a major impact with the XR, right? For example, travel and tourism has 40%, movies have 36%, 3D photos and photogrammetry has 34%, museum tours has 33%, right? So these are sectors that are doing great with XR, right? You have also the sports, concerts, and also online shopping. For online shopping, I believe AR experiences will power a lot of adoption for small scale businesses, right? So it will be great for anyone that has a business that sells products, physical products, to implement XR technology as soon as possible. So this is another statistics that talks about how virtual reality gives travelers a chance to try before they buy, right? For me personally, being able to travel to some amazing tourist locations all across the world is a huge factor and a huge plus for me, right? So most times in the go to England, I could go to United States in my sitting room, right? That's simply amazing. And according to statistics, 64% of people would visit, right, a travel store that has a VR experience, right? Also, 31% also say they would book, right, a travel experience for a location that has that in place. And also 71% said they would download, right? So that 71% would download a travel specific VR content and engage with it before they actually make a decision if they will travel or not, right? So these are numbers that show VR for travel and industry works, and it will be great for anyone within that space or within their niche to adopt this solution. This is a short trailer of the Oculus Quest 2. It's one of the headsets that just came out earlier this year or late last year, right? I wouldn't want to bore you guys with it, but if you want to learn more about it, you could just go on YouTube and search for Oculus Quest 2, and you get more information about it. So moving right into the impact of XR in tourism, according to the United Nations World Tourism Organization, it is reported that international tourist arrivals plunged by 93%, which is huge, in June when compared to 2019. With the latest data from the WTO showing that several sectors were impacted by the COVID-19. For us in Africa, we had a huge impact in education, in health, in tourism, and post-COVID, we're already seeing a lot of technology powering solutions that are helping these businesses to recover. We have virtual education experiences for schools, for universities, right? Most of them are now moving into online learning, right? And also for the local tourism sector here in Nigeria, we have museums and also virtual exhibitions now taking full force, right? And we were able to successfully implement that for a museum here in Nigeria. So basically, I'll be sharing insights on how virtual reality is also making waves in the travel and tourism space. Businesses operating in that sector have so far adopted XR, right? The numbers show it that XR can really, really help those businesses to recover post-COVID. And also, for example, for clients or travelers that want to visit a location post-COVID, they would want to see how that location looks like before they go, right? So if travel marketers have content, 360 VR content or VR content on their websites, on their brochure, right, it would be a great marketing tool for them, right? For example, here in Africa and also in Nigeria, more hotels are already capturing their spaces in 360, right? And now embedding it in their website and sharing it with their target clients for them to engage and see how the room they would love to book looks like. And also, for example, in terms of booking, right, according to statistics, it has shown that hotels or travel destinations that have embedded VR content have a higher rate of chances for people to book, right? And also shows that it shortens people's time, like log time on the website, right? So, for example, if a user is on a website that has a VR content, it will actually engage them more, right, than a website that just has a static content and doesn't show anything unique or special about the location. Also, for XR content, you can embed customer reviews and also images, right, and videos within that space, right? So it's more like an envelope of content that you could share with people that has various branches for them to really focus on and engage with. And just as I shared, many hotels and also travel companies are doing great stuff with XR, having content on their websites, having short experiences and AR-powered applications, right? This is really helping them to convert, right? Because the competition so far it's a lot, and being able to stand out as a travel agency or a tourist location with an XR content, is a huge plus, right? Because you are giving people the option to see how your location looks like before they physically come, right? For me, for example, I love doing major research on any location I would love to visit. So I'll go on Google Map, go on Google Street View, view it in 360 before I physically go there to see how that place look like, right? So these are some of the major impact and also benefits of XR for travel and tourism. Okay, so I'll be sharing a demo of a hotel VR experience, right, that was captured in 360, right? So with this, you can view it on a VR headset, you could view it on your mobile device, right? You could also view it on your PC, right? And this is also accessible to users anywhere in the world, right? So this hotel made this experience to engage with their target customers, which is great, and I believe it will definitely convert for them than using static images. Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. So this is it. So with this, you could use your mouse and pan 360, look up, look down, and see how space looks like. So this is the alley of the hotel. So these are the rooms that people could see how they look like, right? And make major decisions on if they would visit or not. This is the outdoor, the pool. So this was captured with a 360 camera, right? And I'll be sharing more insights about it. Great. That was, and it's amazing, right? There are so many contents that you could find also like this on YouTube, right? So if you have some time, you could just jump on YouTube and just type 360 VR, right? You see so many contents that have that right in place, and also this is an example of a 360 underwater experience that was done by the National Geographic Society, and it shows an underwater experience that was captured using the 360 camera.
Initially, I just wanted to be an underwater explorer. But shortly after becoming a diver,
So with this,
I
you can
realized
see
that
places
the perfect
that
way for me
are
to
not
explore the
accessible
ocean was
by
with a
people,
camera.
right? So this is an underwater experience that was captured in 360, and it's super amazing.
My name is Brian
Being able to
Scary,
interact with this
and
content.
I'm a National Geographic magazine photographer that specializes in ocean wildlife. Buck Island is this spectacular coral reef. You feel like you're in a storybook. You drift through this place and you see these.
It's quite long,
stands
so I'll
of
just cut it
Alcorn
short
coral.
and move into the next content. Sorry. So moving on, I'll be talking about VR in tourism markets. So specifically how VR is helping marketers in the tourism space and also the hospitality space to convert more, right? And basically the most common way VR is currently used in the tourism industry is for marketing, direct and also indirect marketing, right? So for example, creating memorable and engaging experiences of a location, right? And also it creates the feeling of being there without physically being there, which is great for a lot of people who like their space or like being in an environment alone, right? And also, unlike a regular still image and a 360 VR content, right? For 360 VR content, it will convert more in terms of people could relate with it more than a still image because they can't see any exterior part of that space as it is captured. But with a 360 content, you could pan around, you could look around and see how each element blend together, and you could make your decision on if you're going to the place or not. And so this is an example of statistics of how VR is helping hotels and also those in the hospitality sector to convert, right? For example, a study that was done for Omni Hotels found out that travelers and also those that engage online so far have experienced virtual tours and have converted close to 67% of them to book rooms online for that hotel, right? So being able to book a hotel accommodation online is super amazing, right, for any users, right, even though it's physical or virtual, right? And also, according to a research in 2016, they claim that respondents feel more connected to a brand that uses VR content more, right? So 53% of customers are more likely to purchase from a brand or a business that has an element of virtual reality, virtual tours, or if possible, augmented reality. So I'll be sharing insights on virtual booking, right? So virtual booking is using emerging tech, for example, XR, to create booking experiences for your target clients, right? This can help you replace the need for using your computers, right? So users could book for their rooms in VR, right? They could pay in VR, they could select specific room numbers in VR, and this is moving experience to the next level for users, right? So if you create an experience around your business using emerging tech, trust me, it's super amazing, right? And it will keep people coming back more, because if a user experience a content in VR, they would love to share it with their family, with their friends, and if possible, their entire community. So this is the world first virtual reality travel search platform, and it's amazing. I would love you guys to see it.
Imagine if you could search for flights, walk through a plane to select your seat, book and pay for your trip using virtual reality. We live in a 3D world. Why shouldn't we shop for our future travel this way? An Amadeus company, Navitaire, unveils the world's first virtual reality travel search and booking experience. Travelers will be able to select a destination and a date for their flight. Once selected, a traveler will pick the flight and see the aircraft seat map to select a seat. You will also add other services to your booking. Once you have all set for your trip, you can move ahead with the payment. This could change the way travelers will purchase trips, helping airlines and other travel companies become the next generation retailers. In the era of the empowered traveler, Navitaire and Amadeus are helping airlines to shape a personalized customer experience at every stage of the journey.
Sorry. So that's a virtual booking experience, and it was like when I first saw the content and also experienced it, I was amazed on how XR is being used to create an entire chain of experience, from booking your flights to booking extra experiences when you physically arrive at the destination, to also making payments in the VR space, right? So it's super amazing, and I would love to see more of these experiences adopted by the tourism industry and also the hospitality sector. So I'll be sharing a part of XR for tourism and heritage I'm very, very passionate about, which is virtual heritage experiences. For me, I believe it's important for us to curate, capture, and also conserve our heritage for the future and also for our children, because most of them might not be able to see how this location looks like realistically without XR, right? So for us and also for me and my team, our goal is to first of all digitize most of the heritage and monument sites in Nigeria, right? And in the long term, looking at digitizing some sites across Africa and having a platform whereby people could learn about Africa and have a better perspective or a better narrative of what Africa is, right? Our culture, our heritage, and also the amazing people, right? So for me and also for anyone listening, I believe XR for heritage, it's important. It's beneficial for everyone, and it's also open up accessibility to users, right? For example, we have 3D and also photogrammetry experiences that are really transforming how we can conserve content, right? Also create 360 VR experiences that are very detailed, right? And preserve it for our future generation, for them to learn about how we're currently living, and also the amazing experiences we have currently in this generation. So this is a virtual museum experience that we did for a museum in Lagos, right? And what they required was they wanted to capture some of their artworks, right? And they wanted to open it up to users. It was during the pandemic period, right? So the content is currently accessible on the museum's website, and the data and the insights we have gotten so far is mind blowing, right? We have people from America, from Europe, from far off as Australia, right, engaging with this content, right? So they are having a more engaging or a more better narrative of what Africa is, right? And they can learn directly from this museum via this virtual experience of each particular artwork and the story behind them. Yeah, so we had different sections of the museum that was captured. We have the metalworks, we have the making matter, right? And we believe this, if we can have this replicated in more museums, more exhibitions, and if possible, more heritage sites, it will be a huge plus for the local industry, the local natives, and also the nation as a whole. Also, this is a 360 VR experience of the pyramids of Egypt. If you have never been to Egypt before, trust me, AirPanel did an amazing job in capturing this. So you could go to airpanel.com and also view some amazing content. It's quite long, so I'll move straight to the next one. Sorry. So up next is an AR portal that was created by Metaverse, right? And why I chose this was it was mind blowing when I saw it, and I believe if we could have more of this, especially for cities and also towns, it would be great to serve as a great advertising tool for them, right? And with this, you can just be transformed into another space using your mobile device, right? It's super cool, and it will help to reposition the travel industry, especially post-COVID, right? So it would be great to have more of this in place, especially in the rural spaces and also the developing nations. So this is an AR portal, right? You can use your mobile device to move from one location to another.
Hello, Stephen and Lucy. My name is Kate, and I am your personal Genesis virtual travel guide. I think our new Majestic Cruise offer would be perfect for you and the whole family. Please step through this portal so I can show you some of the amazing things you'll experience if you join us on a Genesis Holidays Majestic Cruise. historical sites off the coast of Italy, as well as world-class amenities aboard the ship. Take a look around, and I'll be just outside waiting for you when you get back to answer any questions. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed experiencing just a few of the many things you'll see and do on a Genesis Holidays Majestic Cruise. If you have any questions, I'm here to assist or put you in touch with one of our specialist travel advisors.
Amazing, right? So this is an example of a company that is already adopting, right, XR, right, by the app. And I believe we can have this for more businesses. It will be super, super great, right? And you can contact them directly in the AR experience, right, without actually picking a phone. You can do everything within the AR application, right? So running up shortly, I'll be sharing some of the key benefits of extended reality, like more like a summary of the entire presentation, and more like some tips for CEOs, for managers of tourist sites, and also those in the hospitality industry. Right. So these are some of the key benefits of XR for tourism and heritage. So the first one is allowing users to virtually imagine themselves at a travel destination of their choice with ease. Right. For example, post-COVID, we'll be seeing more of this. Right. More of people being able to go to places virtually, right? And it will also be a huge plus for them to be able to book, right? Because it will be more like a revenue earner for those the local market and also for the country as a whole. So another benefit is being able to showcase 360-degree view of destination in HD, right? And being able to tell immersive stories, right? For us in Africa, people have various perspective of what Africa is about, right? And they believe sometimes that Africa is quite slow to adopt technology, which is not true. We have amazing content developers that are doing great stuff on the continent, right? So being able to tell our story using 360-degree VR and also the other forms of XR is a huge plus for us and also those within the travel space. Also enabling users to explore a scene at their own will, anytime, anywhere, on any device. So XR for tourism, you're not restricted by any device. You could view your content with a VR headset, you could view your content with your PC, you could use your mobile, right? It's accessible to anyone, anywhere, at any time, at your own convenience, right? Which is also a huge plus for businesses that want to really target customers at their comfort zone. Also, another point is creating memorable and unique experiences, right? I remember the first time I took a VR experience of a tour in the safari in South Africa, right? I still remember being this close to an elephant, right, which was mind blowing, right? And I believe having these experiences available for more people, right? Post COVID will be great because it will help them to make informed decision on traveling to some of the best places on earth. And also it provides travel experiences for those who cannot travel, right? So I believe some people who love to travel are either limited by resources, by time, and or their geographical location, right? But with XR for tourism, you have the ability to travel anywhere, anytime, right? You could do that on your laptop, you could do that on your device, right? Having that experience is just it's mind blowing, right? It's should I say special, right? Because you could connect to the places directly, right? As if you were there, right? And not limited by finance or time or resources. And also, it allowed travel companies to stand out, right? I know currently that the competition in the travel space is crazy, right? So being a company in that space, adopting XR is a huge plus, right? And also adopting other form of emerging tech early is a huge plus for any company, right? So I would suggest and advise any company in the travel and tourism space to adopt XR, any form of XR, either 360, VR, or AR, right? Just see how you can implement it into your customer engagement experiences, and it will definitely transform how you interact with your customers. And yes, that's it. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching all the demos and also hearing my story about how I got started with XR and some of the projects we have been able to achieve so far. And if you have any questions, you could share. I'm willing and open to connecting and also answering your questions. And if you are looking forward to connecting with me, or if you have any questions you would like to send to me directly, you could connect with me on LinkedIn via Arun Ibrahim, right? I'm very active on LinkedIn and also on Twitter at Arun Ibrahim _. Or if you'd love to chat via email, you could shoot me an email at ibrahimarume@gmail.com, right? And my final thoughts is XR is going to change a lot of industry, not just travel and tourism alone. You're looking at education, you're looking at sports, and also entertainment, right? And I believe it's a technology that gives us the opportunity to be creative, right? Not restricted by our knowledge, right? No matter your basic knowledge in XR, you could definitely create something, right? And also, my advice to people that want to get started with XR is they shouldn't be like daunted with the complexity of the space, right? It's a process, right? Just get started, find a mentor, follow the activities, and just keep building, keep creating amazing content. And trust me, the sky will just be a stepping stone for you, right? Thank you so much. And if you have any questions, you could share. Thank you so much.
Wow, great examples, Rome.
I love it. I love it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So we have a couple of questions from us,
Okay.
because there were no questions from our viewers, but
That's fine.
we were curious, what kind of cameras are they using for creating those 3D videos that you've shown us?
Okay, great. So they are what they call 360 cameras. So those cameras have two lenses, one here that shoots 180, also here that also shoots 180, right? So with this camera, it eliminates the tripod stand. So it will be as if it was captured in space, right? In a virtual space, right? And then we have some 360 cameras such as the Insta360, the Ricoh Theta V, and the Ricoh Theta Z, right? We have also the pro versions and also the consumer versions. For this kind of content, they mostly use 360 VR on drones, right? And also a 360 camera that is handheld, right? That users could just move into a location and just capture the space.
Sounds great. I want such a camera as well. Wow.
I think you can buy them for like the small version. You can buy them for not that much,
Yeah.
right? I think the one that does like 180 stereoscopic and 360 non.
Yeah. For example, the Insta360 1R, you could get it for $399. You could just search on Amazon and you would see it there. It's easy to use, not that complex. You could use your mobile phone to capture those contents and share those moments.
Great. So you also told us if more, you told us that more people are booking a hotel or a vacation after a VR tour. But why aren't all hotels and all tourism organizations using this?
So I believe for us, for example, for me, right, convincing businesses to adopt XR is quite tasky, right? Because they believe, why should they jump on a technology that is just new, right? But what they don't understand is this technology is not just like a normal or traditional video or image, right? It captures experiences for users to engage with anytime, right? So what I believe is we need to put out more content, right, that are tailored to these industries, right, for them to see it as a need to have, not just a more, should I say like a necessity, but it's a need to have for them, right? So what they just need is the right orientation, the right content, and I believe with time we'll have more of these spaces adopting this technology.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, what do you think? Does virtual tourism make people more or less likely to visit in reality?
For me personally, and from the numbers I've seen so far, it converts more, right? Because, for example, post-COVID, a lot of people are currently at home, right? A lot of people are tired of being at home, right? They're just looking for any content they can jump on that gives them that feeling of being outside, right? So 360 VR virtual reality does that very well, right? And I believe if people can connect with a location virtually, they'll be willing to go there physically because they would want to really, really engage with this content, with these spaces physically.
Okay. Yeah. And do you think that virtual tourism can help people to learn more about the environment and experiences before booking a real deal? You just answered that, right?
Yeah, but I would
Yeah, you
also want
just
to add,
answered that. I'm,
right?
I'm, I'm asking the wrong question. Sorry about that.
I,
Sorry.
no, it's fine. It's fine. I would just want to add, right? Because for me personally, passionate about heritage, right? Most of these locations are not accessible at all. Most of them are in extreme locations, right? But being able to capture this content and conserve them would be great, right? Because most of these sites, especially in my country, are dilapidating by the day, right? So it would be great to preserve them in 3D and, if possible, replicate them if needs be.
Yeah, and so I think also for tourism, you can have a similar use case, right? Because even without a pandemic, there are some locations that are just really hard to get to, or like
Sure.
very limited. I don't know, the Galapagos Islands, or I don't know, inside a volcano. I don't know. It's like
Yeah.
very few people can actually get there. And this way, you can make it. Is that a use case that you look at as well?
Yes. Yes. So the for us is making it more accessible for people, right? For some people, they would love to travel, but they don't have the resources, right? For some, they don't have the time, right? But being able to connect with friends and family in a VR experience, it's just it's mind blowing and it's so special, right? I remember the first time I gave my mom a VR headset. Uh, she was just she was just wow, like it's just amazing how this technology can just play with your mind and transform you to places. And I believe it's the future for me and for everyone that is already into it.
Yeah, and also use cases for there are a lot of beautiful places in the world that are getting ruined by people accessing it. And this
Mm-hmm,
could be a great use case for that as well.
mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
True.
Yeah.
Well, to
Yeah.
add to that, I remember there's like, for example, the Sistine Chapel. That's one of those places, right? Super overrun by way too many tourists, and they're breathing and everything. It destroys the paintings, and
True.
now there's a virtual reality version of that, so you can actually visit without having this impact. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
For us, and also for the technology, right? XR is not just about gaming. There's so many stuff you could do with it, right? In education, it's amazing, right? I remember when I showed my brother a skeleton, an AR skeleton, it was like wow, right? So for especially for children, they remember a lot when they see stuff, right, than maybe handwritten or so, right? So having these experiences in key sectors, right, will make huge impacts for the future.
Yeah.
So to add to that, something from my personal experience, like people use like an Oculus headset. Like the most used app when I talk to other people is the fitness stuff, but then it's the like versions of Google Maps basically, right? Where you
Yeah.
can exactly what you're saying. It's so popular. People go visit like their old houses or tourist destinations. So I completely agree with you. It's going to be a big thing.
Yeah. So it's just time, right? Awareness, especially in the community, right? Onboarding people, onboarding businesses, right? Telling them how this technology will really, really do them good. And I believe if we have cheaper versions of VR headsets, right, that are more accessible and easy to use, it will really open up the space for a lot of people to jump in.
Yeah, that's what we're really waiting for, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Saskia, do you have any additional questions? Because I've asked them all, and
No,
some I've asked
no.
twice. So
I really like this use case outside of tourism of cultural heritage. Right? The idea
Yeah.
that you can see places that might be already destroyed or in danger of being destroyed, but also I wonder what about like experiencing different cultures? Like, do you see that as an like you can experience a completely foreign environment that you would have no access to? Maybe the app can help you like understand the culture better. Is there any work you do in that direction?
Yeah, they are actually a lot already, right? You could also find them on YouTube, right? But for us in Africa, right, just as I said, we want to change the narrative and also the views people have about Africa, right? So most of, for example, Nigeria has close to 260 different languages, local languages, right? Unique languages, right? So being able to create experiences around them, right? Because we have most of the millennials in Africa, most of them don't speak their local languages, right? Most of them speak English, right? All through, right? So being able to document those contents, those unique way of life would be great for us and also for our children, for them to learn how we have come so far and learn about our stories.
Yeah, awesome.
yeah. Okay, so that's it. No more questions. Thank you very much.
Thank
for
you
your
Thank
so
you
great
so
much.
much.
I
inspiring
really,
session.
yeah, thank you so much for your time. And I'm always super glad to jump on anything that involves the Global XR community. I was part of the organizing team that hosted a local version here in Nigeria. And I'm also looking forward to the next one, right? And seeing the amazing
That's
impact
true.
we'll be making. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now that you mention it, our next conference will be in October, right? October
Amazing.
20 to 22.
Great. Looking forward to it.
So
Yeah.
we're still working on the website, but it will be all online soon, and then we can talk a bit more about it.
Great.
Yeah.
I'll be willing to share with everyone around here and also the XR community in Africa.
Oh, we would really
Thank you.
love you to be part of it again.
Great.
Thanks a
Great.
lot.
For
Thanks
sure.
for your support.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you for
Take
your
care, everyone.
time. Thank
Bye
Take
you.
care.
bye.
Bye
Bye. Bye.
bye.
Bye.
So that's it for tonight.
Thank you everyone for watching.
Yeah.
I want to go have virtual ice cream in Venice now.